I am Merida from Brave, the Disney movie, and I just have to tell you that when my mother wanted me to pick a prince from those three princes, I was not interested. Are you kidding me? I want to go hunt. I want to go shoot my bow like my dad taught me. But my mom, Queen Eleanor, said, no, that's not what ladies do. Ladies have to pick a prince, and you're going to be a princess, and then you're going to grow up to be a queen. Mom, I don't think so. Do you see how well I shoot my bow? Watch. I can do this. So why do I have to be a lady? Why do I have to be what my mom says I have to be? My dad taught me all of this archery stuff, and I love it. I want to run free. That's what I want to do because I'm not afraid. I am brave. There are those who say that fate is something beyond our control, that destiny is not our own, but I know better. Our fate lives within us. You only have to be brave enough to see it. And here we are at Hopkinton Fire Station. We're going to interview the guys in the fire, but they have a place to go. So we'll talk to them when they get back. Talk about being brave. They don't know what they're going to face. They just go out there and do it. When they get the call, they just go to help us all. That's being brave, if you ask me. We're here with Lieutenant Doherty and Firefighter Gross, and these are two of the bravest people that I know, except for Chief Slayman, who's going to be on in a minute. These guys want to do this job. They want to go put their lives in danger. Not that that's why they signed up for this, but they are so brave to help us all when there's something that's scary for the rest of us. If we see a fire, we don't know what to do, and we're not trained, but these guys are. So I want to ask, starting with Lieutenant Doherty, what is it about firefighting or his goal in life? What is it that makes him brave? Why is he brave? Was he always brave? So we'll start with that. Were you always brave?
Personally, I don't consider myself brave. So I think it's with the training that makes you not fearful, but you can respect the job. I call it more of a calling than a bravery.
Nice. That's nice. Well, we appreciate that you're called to be brave because we wouldn't know what to do, and you save us. That's a big thing. That's big to be able to save another person, save a cat up a tree. I don't know if you guys do that.
Once in a while.
Or I know for myself, I was home with an infant and my basement was flooding and I didn't know what to do. It was a terrible, I think all the snowbanks melted at once. So I called over here and I got firefighter Santucci and firefighter Lukey. I don't know if they were lieutenants or what, but these guys showed up and I was, what? And they helped me. So I think it's brave going into it, but you probably don't realize, but you are brave. You just don't, you're humble too. I might get you for another episode later. So when you were a kid, was there anything that about yourself or your parents told you that helped you find this calling? Did you have this calling when you were little?
I could speak for myself, but I think Patrick's in the same boat. We're both second-generation firemen. I think it was, watching your fathers get up in the middle of the night, running the fire calls that made you excited, Going to the fire station, hanging out all the time. I think that's probably what really drove us towards this career. Yeah.
And I know little boys have that same excitement about the big truck and the equipment and helping. I guess that's the thing. I never had that interest. I never wanted to go fight a fire. So I appreciate that you guys do that. So speaking of firefighter Gross, let's hear about your story. Was there a moment in your childhood where you thought, I want to be a firefighter? Or was there a situation where something was really scary and you did it anyway?
Well, it's like Gary said, my father was a firefighter, so every Saturday morning we'd go down to the fire station, we'd run the trucks, make sure everything worked. I hung around here a lot as a kid.
Mm-hmm. It was here.
In town. I grew up in this town.
Okay, both of you.
Also, every week we'd watch the TV show Emergency. It's still on, 4 o'clock every day. Look it up, it's on cable. And that's a more calling, just watching what my father did. And just it's an interesting career.
Yep.
No 2 days are the same.
Okay, so then let's ask about your fathers a little bit. Your fathers would also be brave, I would think, with a capital B and all capital letters. Did you ever see them at a moment where they were less than brave? Are they scared of spiders, or is there anything?
No.
Are they just brave all the way through brave every second of the day?
Every second of the day.
Awesome.
I think
love
that's
that.
one of the things when you're a fireman. Even if you are scared, you just don't show it.
Don't show
That's what I'm talking about. So even if they're scared, they just don't show it. They do it anyway because they have a calling to help others in time of need with the big trucks and the sirens. So cool.
That's just a perk.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Hi. We're here with Chief Slammin from Hopkinton Fire Department, and we are so glad that you made it to Chief, I have to say.
Thank you very much.
What called you to this job? When you were a kid, were you brave, or were you kind of scared and the firefighters helped you and you said, I want to do that? Or
Yeah, a whole bunch of things I would say. Firefighting was in my family. I had a grandfather that was a fire chief in Wellesley
Oh.
for many years. I have my uncle was a fire chief in Winchington. I had my father spent probably 30 years as a call firefighter here. So I kind of saw it as a kid. I was brought up watching Squad 51 on TV, and
Wow.
I just had the bug. So that's probably what got me started.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. This is wonderful. So being brave is almost like a genetic trait, something passed on family to family. Someone in the beginning of the family chain
Yep.
would have had to say, I'm going to do this thing that looks really scary, but because it's helping other people, right?
Yeah, I think we get lucky. We get exposed to public service with that,
Yes.
and when you get thank yous for doing public service, that's probably the reward part that you get. So it's not so
Right.
much the bravery; it's just the when we help others, whether we're saving a life or just you mentioned your basement flooded with
Yeah.
water. We get some really nice, rewarding thank yous that are that's what kind of makes a job.
Oh, that's great. So make sure you thank the firefighters, is what I'm hearing, and the police. And what kind of cookies would that be, or brownies?
I happen to be peanut butter, but I don't
Peanut
need
butter
too many
cookie.
cookies right
I'm just
now.
asking,
But,
just checking. Okay. Hi, we're here today to talk about being brave. Why does a person run into danger to save someone else? Or why do they do something that makes them really, really scared? Today we have Officer Phil Powers, who is our school resource officer in Hopkinton, and he's going to tell us why he takes on this job. Why do you run into danger? Why do you risk your life? Why do you help people even though you might be at risk?
Well, you don't go into the job thinking that's what you're going to be doing every single day. The chances of you risking your life are very slim in a smaller town, Hopkinton. Cities, Boston, there's more opportunity than getting into risky situations. But you don't become a police officer because you want to run into, you want to be
Right.
brave. You do it because you want to help the community. You want to help the kids. You want to be a role model, but you don't do it because I want to be a brave person.
Right.
So that just comes natural, I feel.
So were there times when you were little that you had to make a choice that showed bravery as part of your character, or did that develop?
Well, I was never a great student in school, and I've always wanted to be a police officer. Yeah, you don't want to see my report cards. But I always wanted to be a police officer, but I didn't have a lot of self-confidence in being it because I wasn't very academically, I didn't do very well in school, so I didn't have the confidence. Well, one day, a job came opening up, and I was already on the auxiliary, and I really liked the work, but I was afraid to go for that job. I never thought I'd make it through the police academy. But I took that chance, and I did. I passed. I ended up actually getting awarded for trying hard. Not that I exceeded, the top academic or top Top Gun award, but it was something that I did that I didn't think I could do, but I did it, and I passed it, and and I'm a police officer today. I mean, take that extra chance, and that's what I think you have to do to be brave. So go out of your comfort zone,
I agree. And we thank you so much for being here, being brave, and protecting us every day whether it's emotionally, because I know you help kids that are having emotional struggles, or you help us physically and protect us in a safety way. We really appreciate that you're here. And we know you're brave, and we appreciate that you took the risk, even though you didn't think you could do it. That's what being brave is all about. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're here at Hopkinton Police Station with Lieutenant Bennett and Lieutenant Porter, and these are two of the bravest guys I know. They take risks, they go into danger because that's their job, to serve and protect. What prepared you to do this? Were you always brave as a child, or were you scared as a child and then something happened and you knew you'd be okay?
Well, my father was a part-time police officer, so I was exposed to a lot of police officers, and my family owned a business that I was exposed to a lot of police officers, so it was always a goal of mine to become a police officer. As far as being brave, I don't know, I never faced really anything to the level that we do now, that we face.
Oh.
And fortunately, through a lot of training, it prepares you to deal with those situations, and that's what gets you through that first couple minutes at every scene. When you go in and you know it's a high-risk situation, you fall back on your training and gear up and go in. And then when in doubt, you keep moving forward. Exactly.
Yeah, I thought that was great. Thank you. And Officer Porter. I'm sorry, Lieutenant Porter.
It's fine.
Yeah, so anything from your childhood that prepared you, or did you always want to be a police officer?
I did not. I'm actually the only officer in my family. Even to this day, I have a sister who works in the prison system. Followed me. I think what was for me is my mother and my sister had a difficult upbringing. My biological father was abusive, so the police were at our house a lot, and really didn't have the role model. So the officers, because of the interactions that I was having with them, recognized, my lack of role models, for a better saying.
Yep.
And several of them took me under their wing. They checked on me. They allowed me to hang out with them if I saw them on the side of the road. They allowed me to run radar with them.
Wow.
Stuff like that. And,
That's a blessing.
yeah, so they kind of geared me that way.
Right.
In my upbringing, and made me decide, this is, I saw the worst side of what people can do and then the best side. And they kind of steered me to that side. And, they made a difference on me, so I thought maybe I can make a difference one day.
That's so great. That's great. Thank you so much for doing that. Yeah, and that's why we're here in terms of character, and why we're doing this show, because we want kids to see positive role models, and why adults make choices that they do. Why did they make the choice as a child to go into this kind of behavior and choose the good thing to do, the right character? Because character matters. And we really appreciate you guys taking the time. Thank you so much for everything you do. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Hey, Reddy Freddy. What, Piggy Wiggy? You know what I heard? What'd you hear? I heard a story about someone named Deborah Sampson who fought in the Revolutionary War. What? She fought in the Revolutionary War? How did she do that? Well, she went and dressed as a man, and she signed up and she fought, and when she got a bullet in her leg, she dug it out herself so she wouldn't get caught and have to stop fighting. Are you kidding me? She had a bullet and she cut it out of her leg? That's so brave. I could never do that. I know, right? Unbelievable. She kept fighting because she really wanted to help our country. That is so brave. What? We're here with Charlie, who's headed to school, and he's kind enough to give us a minute to talk about being brave. So do you think you're a brave kid? You do things... I think you're kind of brave. That's why I asked you if you would say something. So can you tell us what in your life helps you become brave? And why are you such a brave kid?
My mom and dad.
So what about your mom and dad helped you be brave?
They just help me be brave because, like, they tell me there's nothing to worry about and there's no ghost down the stairs.
Perfect. Any final words of advice you have for people who might be worried about the ghost downstairs or the vertical bumps ahead of them?
Ghosts can only be there, but they can't hurt you.
Nice. Thanks, Charlie. We're here with Jason on his way to school, and I asked him if he would talk to us a minute about a time when he was brave in his life, how he managed to do that even though he was scared, and he's going to give us a couple thoughts of his.
Well, at Hopkins School, the first time I ever did a Friday performance, I was really, really nervous because I was going to sing. So I kind of forgot a couple of lines because I was really, really nervous. But I managed to get through it without having to just walk off the stage just randomly.
So what helped you be brave when you were scared and you were forgetting your words?
I just thought of a quote from a movie I saw a while ago. It's called Meet the Robinses, and the quote is, "Keep moving forward." So even if you make mistakes, it doesn't even matter. You can just keep moving forward.
That is the best, Jason. What great advice. Thank you so much for your time. You're going to be awesome. So what we learned from today's show is brave isn't about not having fear. Brave is about having fear, knowing the dangers, and doing something anyway. Those firefighters, they know there are dangers. Deborah Sampson, she knew she had danger going into being a soldier even though she was a woman. She knew it would be dangerous to fight and have guns and shoot other people or people shoot her. She knew it would be dangerous if she got caught, but she did it anyway because she had something more important in mind. She wanted to help people. Just like the firefighters, they want to help people. The police, they help people. They're not thinking about the fear, they're not thinking about the danger, they're thinking about what they want to do. So even though Brave is a Disney movie, the point is a good one. The point is, if you know what's inside you, if you know you have a calling to help people, or you know you have a calling to go out and be in the woods and explore, don't worry about the animals, don't worry about the dangers, just do what you think is right, because you know that's what your fate is, and you know that's who you are in your heart. Go out there and be brave. Why do we do this? Because character matters, and being brave is part of having a good character. Character matters. I hope today's show on being brave gave you something to talk about. We heard from policemen, firefighters, and from kids on the street about how and why they deal with things which might seem scary. They get a good feeling from facing and overcoming fear, or from going into a difficult situation and then being appreciated for their help. Why take a risk? Why do we care? Why do people do things that scare them? I'm not talking about going to scary movies or taking risks for a thrill. I'm talking about going into a situation which might be dangerous for a greater reason than one's own safety. That kind of bravery or courage is a good character trait. That is a good thing to do. Turning away from a situation where someone needs your help and you are afraid is not being of good character. It is being a coward. Being brave is good. Why do we try to be good? Because character matters and can save lives. Merida from Disney's movie Brave was a princess whose mother, the queen, wanted her to do the traditional thing and choose a husband. Merida loved learning skills like tracking and hunting from her father, the king. Her mother had tried to teach her sewing and other skills considered proper for young princesses, but Merida knew what was in her heart, and it wasn't sewing, it was shooting a bow and arrow. She was not afraid of the woods, she was brave. Hopkinton Fire Lieutenant Doherty, Firefighter Gross,
and Chief Slammin all have a common goal to help others, and they don't seem to feel fear because they have confidence in their equipment and brother firefighters to help and protect them if needed. They are brave and happy to rush in where others would see danger and stay away. They chose a career which helps others, even at risks to themselves, but they are happy in that career choice because doing something meaningful and helpful makes them feel good inside. When they are appreciated for their help and courage, that fills them with pride and the knowledge that they are doing the right thing. School Resource Officer Powers, Lieutenant Bennett, and Lieutenant Porter feel that they are doing the right thing too. The motto of police is to serve and protect, and they also feel good when they help and people appreciate their assistance. They are not in the job to feel power over others and tell them what to do. They just want to help others and keep the public safe. They take risks when they show up to a dangerous situation and even when they are doing traffic detail, because people now are distracted when they are driving and more accidents happen. The police take those risks anyway and are filled with a good feeling when they know they helped someone or set a good example. Being brave feels good inside. People who are not brave feel ashamed. Not helping someone, especially when your help would have saved a life, can leave a person feeling bad inside and with lasting memories of that event when they could have helped but didn't. Being brave and helping leaves a good feeling and good memories. Piggy Wiggy and Reddy Freddy were telling us about Deborah Sampson, the Revolutionary War soldier whose mother had 6 kids and her husband was cheated out of his inheritance by a dishonest brother-in-law, so he left the family, supposedly looking for work, but he never returned. Deborah Sampson's mother was in the Bradford family and related to Governor Bradford, an original Pilgrim on the Mayflower, but she fell on hard times and had to give her 6 children to other families because she couldn't afford to support them and their basic needs. That's really sad. Deborah ended up in a family of 10 brothers in Middleborough, Massachusetts, where she grew strong helping on the farm and then went on to become a teacher. When the Revolutionary War needed soldiers, she put on men's clothing, probably one of her brothers, disguised her feminine qualities, and signed up as Robert Shurtleff to fight in the Revolutionary War. She felt strongly that she wanted to help, and that was really brave. She was a soldier. Deborah was slashed by a knife in a fight and went to have her head wound bandaged, but walked out of the hospital after that care. Then she got a musket ball in the leg and used a knife to dig out the musket ball. She cut it out of her leg herself. That was really brave. Some of us have trouble seeing blood, and she not only saw a lot of her own blood, but she was causing herself pain to get that bullet out of her leg. She didn't want medical care since she didn't want them to find out she was a woman. She wanted to keep fighting to protect our country. Deborah Sampson was named official Massachusetts heroine in 1982, recognizing her taking risks in the face of danger to protect our state and our country. After the war, Deborah got married and had children of her own, having set an amazing example for them and others. Our kids, Charlie and Jason, said similar things about taking risks in the face of danger. Charlie was afraid to go downstairs in his house since he thought there was a ghost. But his mom and then his dad helped him face his fears and talk about them, and he knew he would be fine. It takes bravery to go downstairs if you think maybe ghosts are real and there might be a ghost downstairs in your house. Jason told us of singing at Hopkins Friday performances and what he did when he lost track of the words. He told us a quote from the movie Meet the Robinsons, where the main character said, "Just keep moving," when he was scared. Jason thought of this quote when he was feeling scared on the stage and told himself to just keep moving, as the movie character advised. Then he was able to finish his song. It takes bravery to stand up in front of a cafeteria full of people and forget the words, but keep going anyway. Both Charlie and Jason were scared, but they went ahead, faced their fears, and felt good inside because they kept moving instead of let fear paralyze them or stop them from doing what they wanted to do. Nice going, Charlie and Jason. You guys are brave. When I think of bravery, I think of many instances in history, but in recent times, we had the awful occurrence of 9/11 and the marathon bombings too close to home. People in those cases, including Alicia Shambo of Hopkinton in the medical tent at the finish line, ran to help without thinking of personal danger. They saw people needing help and they had skills they could use. They ran in when other people ran away. In that situation, we appreciate all those who are brave and think of others in difficult situations. They know the risk and move forward to help anyway. So we add the quality of being brave to our list of good character traits. People who choose to be brave feel good inside when they help others. Why do they choose this? Because character matters. Please join us next time as we will meet more people to give us examples of good character. You never know who will show up.
Are you worried about letting your child take the wheel? Maybe you should also be worried about what you're doing behind the wheel. Have you ever sent a quick text, just this once? Well, that might turn into a catastrophic accident. Monkeys see what monkeys do. If you do it, why wouldn't your child? In a child's brain, almost all things their parents do, they can do too. 78% of teen drivers surveys text and drive. 59% said their parents do it too. Stop texting and driving, because if you do it, your child will too.